Okay, now we are on page 14. These are your word problems. And whenever you get a word problem, the first thing you want to do is find the z-score, okay? So however you get the z-score is you take whatever they're talking about, whatever score they give you, the 3.2, you subtract the mean. Here it says the mean is actually 3.2, so you're going to subtract 3.2 again. And you divide by the standard deviation. The standard deviation is 0.4. So 0 divided by anything is 0. So that is your z-score, okay? Whenever you get your z-score, your next step is always look it up on the chart, okay, if they want the percent. So here's your z-score of 0. It's actually 50%. So when they ask you what percent of rides last at least 3.2 hours, at least means more than, okay? So when you looked up 0.5, on the chart, you actually are doing 1 minus 0.5, but 1 minus 0.5 is still 0.5, so you still get 50%. 50% on the left, 50% on the right. So we're going to do a lot of these word problems. What percent of rides are less than 2.8 hours? So take that 2.8, subtract the mean, divide by standard. That gives you the z-score. You'll actually get -1 here. Whenever you get your z-score, look it up on the chart. Find -1. Right here, 0.1587. Now remember, the chart will always give you the area or the percent to the left. So if it says less than, you just look it up and you're done. About 15.87% are to the left, are less than 2.8 hours. Now if it says at least, that means more than, okay? So more than 3.7. Get your z-score, same way, subtract the mean, divide by standard. You'll get 1.25. That's called your z. Whenever you get your z-score, your next step is look it up on the chart. So find 1.25. This is 1.20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There it is, 0.8944. So let me write that down, 0.8944. Now that would be the percent on the left. Because they want more than, that's the area on the right. So if they ever want the area on the right, you got to do 1 minus that number. And that's how you get 0.1056. Or 10.56%. Okay? Now here, it'll say in a random sample of 500 rides, how many rides are at least 3.7? So here's your percent. We just found at least 3.7 right here. We found the z-score. Since it said at least, that means more than, so we did 1 minus, and you get this 10.56%. Okay, if you want to write that as a decimal, it'd be 0.1056. And if you want the actual number in a sample of 500, you take that percent and just multiply by 500, and you'll get about 52.8. If you want to round it up to 53, that's fine, somewhere in there. Okay? All right, these are the exact same way, okay? So they give you your mean is 62. Your standard deviation is 5, and it says what percent are traveling faster. Now if it says faster, that means more than, that means to the right, okay? Oh, this should be miles per hour, by the way. That's a typo. Okay, so take your score, 62, subtract the mean, divide by the standard. 0 divided by anything is 0. Now that's your z-score. Once you get your z-score, look it up on the chart. Here's 0. Again, that's 50%. So that would be the area to the left. When you do 1 minus 50, you still get 50% on the right. So same as that other problem, okay? Now here it says between. If it says between 58 and 66, what you got to do is you got to find the z-score for each one. So start with the 58, subtract the mean of 62, divide by the standard, which was 5, and you get a z-score of -0.8. Always when you get your z-score, look it up on the chart, find -0.8 right here, 0.2119. And then you got to do the other one, okay? Get the z-score for 66. subtract the mean, divide by standard, and you'll get positive 0.8 for your z. Once you get your z-score, look it up on the chart. This time you're on the positive side. 0.8 is up here, 0.7881. Okay, so once you get these two areas, if it says between, you just subtract the bigger one minus the smaller one, and you'll get 0.5762, or 57.62%. So that's the percent that's scored between 58 and 66. Now if it says slower than 56, that just means the area to the left, okay? So get your z-score, which is negative 1.2. Here's your z. Look it up on the chart. Negative 1.2 is right here, 0.1151. And because it says slower, that's to the left, so once you get that area, you're done. If it ever says to the left, all you do is look it up and you're done. If it said to the right, we would do 1 minus, okay? Like this one. This says faster than 70 miles per hour. Faster means to the right. So you're going to get your z-score. 8 divided by 5 is 1.6. That's your z. Look it up on the chart. Positive side. 1.6 is right here, 0.9452. Now that would be less than, but because it says faster than 70 miles an hour, you got to do 1 minus that 0.9452, and you'll get 0.0548. Or if you want to change it, 5.48%. Now here it says if 200 cars are randomly selected, how many will be traveling faster than 70? Well, we just did this one. We found the percent is 5.48%. So take that percent and just multiply by how many were in the sample, which was 200. And you get about 10.96. If you want to round it up to 11, that's fine. Somewhere in there. Okay? All right, last one on this page. This is a hard one where you're going to have to be working backwards. We're going to be working more on these harder ones on Tuesday. But it says in a sample of 10 students, the mean is 85, the standard is 4. What is the score that corresponds to a student having a z-score of negative 1.25? So now we're working backwards. You don't know what the score is, but if you subtract the mean, which is 85, divide by the standard, which is 4, that has got to equal the z-score, and I give you the z-score is negative 1.25. And now what you can do is you can cross multiply here. You get x minus 85 equals negative 5. When you multiply this, you'll get negative 5. So just put that over here. Add that 85 over to the other side, and your score is 80. So that one I gave you the z-score, and you had to work backwards to get the actual score. So your score is 80. And that's it for page 14.